Hey guys, it's Dev and today is Technique Tuesday, and in today's video we will be discussing some Lightroom basics, and this is a quick tutorial on how to get literally any photo a million times better. So roll the intro.
She got two little horns and they give me a little She got two little horns and they give me a little
Okay, so in today's video we're going to talk about the few basic settings that you need to know when editing a photo, and this will also show you how to turn literally any photo from a smartphone, screenshots, anything, how to turn that into something that looks amazing. So let's go through some of the settings that I will be covering. Now firstly, it will be a lot like the previous video with the camera basics, same with the exposure, stuff like that, but I'll keep it down easy. So exposure, once again, is brightness. Then you have your contrast. Now your contrast is the difference between your brights and your darks. So the higher the contrast, the more dark this part would get and the more white my face would get. Okay, so then that's obvious. Now the next few settings are highlights and shadows. Now what these do are, the highlights are obvious. Like if you think about highlights in a hair, like it's the bright parts. I don't know, I'm not a hairdresser or girly or anyway, but I've heard of it and I've seen the outcomes of it. But anyway, you get the point. It's like the bright parts. So it would be like the shiny part on my forehead, ear, or in my neck where I'm really white now. That's what highlights would be. Now shadows are pretty obvious. It's something that has a shadow like that, or if you were standing, the shadow you cast on the ground. So anything that's dark essentially. So I'm going to use a few examples to show you guys. I have changed some of the other settings. You can play around with them. They don't do as much, but I'd say these few settings are the most important. One bonus setting I'm going to tell you guys about in Lightroom is clarity. Now if you use this too much, it looks weird. I have overused it in the past, but for a reason it kind of looks cool. In some situations with faces, too much clarity is a bad thing because you can see all your pores and zits and whatever, but you'll see when you do it. It's hard to explain now. But I'm going to show you guys this photo. It's from a shoot I did with Amari and Devin. If I show you the before, I'll have the before up on the left somewhere, or I don't know, I'll have it somewhere on the screen, a before and after of this photo. But if you look at the before, you can see the sky looks very white. You can kind of see the clouds, but you can kind of see the blue, but you can't see it as apparent. But in the after, you see it a lot more apparent. Now how I got this was I turned up the contrast a little bit, and then I totally took the highlights down all the way, because the picture was very dark in the beginning. Like their bodies had no real light on them because I was shooting from behind them, like the sun was on the total other side, which is not something you want to do if you want to take photos of faces. But this wasn't a photo of a face, so no one really cares. But then I turned down all the highlights, which means it brought out the sky and the clouds and the blue, and that looked very nice. You can also see that they were very dark in the before, but in the after, you can actually see them. They're a little bit brighter, but not too much. But what I did there is I brought up the shadows quite a lot. Now that helped to make them a little bit more bright and to get the sky a little bit darker with the highlights and shadows. It's basically contrast. So if you bring the one down, bring the other one up, because it helps. You don't have to do that, but in this case I'd recommend it. But you get the point, it helps quite a lot. The bonus setting I'm going to show you guys, if you look at the trees in the photo, you can kind of see like the branches and everything, but they don't pop. They kind of like fade. It's like it's one thing. But with the clarity, when I did that, it made the branches much more sharp and apparent that they're one piece and not just one big blob. So that's what the clarity does. You can also see on their bodies they got a little bit more clear. In a hair especially, you can see the difference from clarity. It helps a lot. I'm gonna use this one. Now this is a photo of my wheel. I took this on my iPhone. I went to go get my girlfriend and I was bored and it was golden hour, so I took the photo. Anyway, if you look at the photos before and after, like you can see there's not a big difference between the before and after, but there's a apparent one. Like the before looks very smooth and subtle, and some people might like that, but in cars and stuff like that, I like the clarity to see the lines and everything. But same thing, brought down the highlights so you can see the little clouds in the sky. Not that there are a lot, but I took that down. The sun also got more layers, because it was very bright. I was looking directly at the sun basically. And in the wheel especially, you can see the details start to pop. Like on the wheel side, if I put up the clarity, you can actually see the letters on the wheel that are black too. and that helps a lot. Same if I brought up the blacks in this photo, like I did a little bit to see the wheel a bit more, like the actual tire, then it made it a little bit more bright and made it more apparent that there was something on the wheel. The clarity also shows up a lot on the rocks, and that's all. You can edit a photo to look amazing with just contrast, highlights, shadows, and clarity. You can use sharpening too, but that, depending on the photo, like if it's a low quality photo, using too much of this will give you a very blocky effect, and that's because of the file. That's more complicated. I'll get into that sometime to explain the difference between a compressed photo and how to spot the differences and stuff like that, but in today's video that's not the point. Okay, so I'm going to use this photo. It's an athletics photo for just focus. So I'm going to use this photo. It'll be on screen now, but if you look at the before and after, I changed a lot. You can see I actually had a blue shirt on, but in the photo it's grey. That's just the color mixing stuff. You can learn about that in the other video I did. I'll also do a video dedicated to color again. But if you look at the photo, if the before looks again like it's smudged and soft and everything like that, and for close-ups of faces you want that, but in this case, because there was a building and architecture and sharp lines, I wanted the clarity to be a lot to make everything pop a bit more. And me being a dude, and I got a few compliments on jawline and shit like that, I put up the clarity to make those features a little bit more apparent. So as you can see, the contrast on this is pretty high. That was just the look I was going for, like this really orange and red tartan look type deal. So I resaturated all the oranges and stuff like that, took out all the blues, the greens I kept in a little bit, but you get the point. The clarity you can also see very much in the actual tartan, the things that I'm standing on, you can see it a lot. It brings out the detail basically. That's what clarity does, it makes it more clear, if that helps. So yeah, if you use these few techniques, and let's say, like I have a very clear way of editing, like I like these very sharp and straight line photos, but if you want to make your photos more soft, like if they're too sharp for you, you can take these dials completely the other way, and that will help to make the photo more soft. So if I were to take all of these things and edit them oppositely, they would look totally different. So yeah, you can take these techniques I taught you guys and put it to use any way you want, and it's really not that hard to figure out. Like trust me, if you edit 10 random photos from your phone, like 10 totally different photos, and try to make them all look kind of the same, you can do that. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video, if this was helpful, please leave a like, comment down below if I missed something, or if you want to see a next suggestion. The channel's pretty dead on comments. Like I get the few people that always comment, but I know they just comment to help me, and I do really appreciate that. Like I have no problem with that. I just want to hear feedback. Like I'm not getting feedback from you guys. YouTube is about a community, and it is about, like, I want to create something you guys want to see. That's why I started Technique Tuesday, because I don't know what you guys want to see, and I have picked up that a few people do take interest in photography or videography or anything like that. So that's why this is here. So if you guys would give me feedback, like if you want to tell me, no, don't do this, I hate this Technique Tuesday stuff, do the cool little short film edits, do athletics edits, stuff like that, then I'll try and do that again. But in other words, I really don't have any feedback from you guys, and I would really like it if you guys gave me some. Almost to 300 subs, which is amazing, 289-ish now, but yeah. Anyway, if you liked the video, please comment down below what you want to see next. If it was helpful, please like the video, and this has been Dev, and I'm out.